So, welcome back to Sound Bites, a show about good people doing good things in the local food and drink industry. And one of those people is Mary Janet McDonald. Mary Janet came to attention during the pandemic when a simple video she posted about cinnamon rolls went viral. So much so that now Mary Janet has her own YouTube channel, Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and 2 published cookbooks. So, welcome, Mary Janet.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being with us. Is it fair to say that when you created that video, whatever it was about 4 years ago, did you have any inclination that it would get so much attention?
Not at all. I mean, I am a very simple, basic baker, and here in my little village of Port Hood, Cape Breton, maybe 1,000 people on a good day. Never did I expect that kind of attention, but it sure has changed my life.
That's awesome, and I'm gonna guess it's changed your life to a positive way. What
Absolutely.
how does the name Tunes and Wooden Spoons? Who came up with that idea and how?
Well, that first day that I did that video, it was just a request by my daughter to do it just to help just our own family and my friends, so I thought, but it kind of went out there. And on that day, when I was doing the cinnamon rolls, my granddaughter, Anna, who's now 18, was making the cinnamon rolls in Halifax with her dad, our son. And for whatever reason, she said, Grandma should have this show and she should call it Tunes and Wooden Spoons. And after that first video, I was inundated with friend requests on my personal page. And I said, well, we'll have to do another one, but we can't have that happening. So we created Tunes and Wooden Spoons page.
Amazing, amazing, and it seems like tunes is a big part of it because when you seem to incorporate music a bit too.
I too. Well, on that first day, my niece, if you've heard of Natalie McMaster, my niece Natalie had recently put out her CD called Sketches, and I was doing a little work for Natalie on her Facebook page and stuff. So I said, "Oh, she's going to play Natalie's CD in the background," and I love Cape Breton music and all kinds of music, and so that was how the tunes part happened. And of course, since then, and once you could have someone in your home during the pandemic, I started incorporating local talent and not so local talent. You just never knew who was going to be around that I could have on the show. And so while we would make and prepare something, and while it was in the oven, we had this time to fill because I just kind of wanted to do it live. And I wanted people to come into my home as if they're having a little Cape Breton visit and a cup of tea, which is something that we do all the time. And so that was just a welcome addition, was a little bit of music to pass and fill that time slot.
So is it fair to say you are welcoming people into your own home?
Yes, after I realized that this was going to be a weekly endeavor, I decided, I'm not going to stress about this. I'm just going to pretend like there's actually somebody coming to visit me on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to make something for tea. We're going to sit down and we're going to have a chat and we're going to have taste test something that I'm making. And sometimes I wouldn't look at the numbers that were loading up on the screen because it would frighten me. And I would say, okay, here are my friends. They're here for a visit and let's have a little chat. And that's how it went.
Amazing. You probably you created this at a time when during the pandemic, challenging times. It must have brought some comfort to people. And have people expressed that to you?
Oh my gosh, I've had I have such a number of emails that I can't even count, and by the hundreds of people reaching out, people who are alone, who are lonely, seniors who are alone and lonely, especially some with a certainly a connection to the East Coast and is, of course, Cape Breton. And, alone in their apartments, family weren't even allowed to be with them. People who were sick, one who was suffering with cancer and said his wife would crawl into bed with him, and while he was recovering from his treatments, and they would watch together segments off the show over and over again, and it brought him away from the pain and the discomfort, and it was just, that was a beautiful thing. And I said, okay, I'm going to keep going.
Amazing. So that must be one of the reasons that you do keep going. And now I think it's over 100 videos. It's getting hard to decide what recipes to feature.
Oh, well, sometimes I have a special guest then. For the most part, I, as you mentioned at the beginning, I do have a YouTube channel, which I don't really keep updated. It was becoming, because I'm live streaming, the videos are quite long, sometimes an hour and a half. And as you can imagine, it takes a while to upload that from rural Cape Breton. So I kind of stopped after a time. And my videos are really on my Facebook page, Tunes and Wooden Spoons. And there I'm reaching 200 mark come September. And I actually am finishing this show. I'm having a finale show on September the 29th. And that will be around the 200th video that I've done. And in answer to your question about running out of things to make, I have had the pleasure of having chefs on the show and people who want to share a recipe or whatever. And, it can be another home baker, or it could be a chef, or it could be an entertainer. And I get it out of them, and they come and they make what they would like to. And so that has helped a lot in getting the recipes out there. And it's just great. And I'm not perfect. And we've had lots of bloopers, let's say, which have made it even better. I just roll with it, and I don't have a lot of stuff prepared, what I'm going to say or ask or share. And I'm a people person, and I think it's worked for that. I am who I am.
And it's led to creation of 2 cookbooks, Love Without Measure and Recipes from a Cape Breton Kitchen. Is there anything else in the works for the future?
Not right now. No, to imagine that I even have 1 cookbook, let alone 2. No, it was a publisher had reached out to me about making the first cookbook, which just was amazing to me that I should. And I had doubts whether I should or not. But we did it, and it was extremely popular. I'm telling you, I know that at least 18,000 copies have been sold to date of that first one. And the second one, it's getting there as well. And the second was a harder sell for me to actually do that. So I ended up featuring 12 wonderful women from the west side of Cape Breton Island, from different cultures, but mostly Scottish, and family as well. So they had to be over 80, and they shared their recipes and their story. I went around and interviewed them. So it was easy here once I got into that. A third book, we talked about it. They kind of talked to me about doing that, but I don't know. I don't think that that's going to happen, but I'll never say never. My daughter, Margie, was my co-author, and because she's a photographer in her spare time, and she did a lot of the pictures in the first one, but most of them in the second one, and all the food pictures in that. So I think she would love to do another kind of a coffee table hardcover version to close things off, but I'm not there yet. We'll see.
Is it fair to say, though, you won't stop inviting people over for some tunes and some baked goods?
That will certainly happen in my home environment, but probably not live streamed on every Sunday or anything like that. Like, for example, last Sunday I had Chef Ryan McIsaac here, and we made homemade pasta and a wonderful pasta dish. But this Sunday, and here's the difference, you'll have a professional chef on one Sunday. This Sunday, I welcome my granddaughter, Anna, who's 18, she's a loves to bake. And of course, she named the show. So I felt it good to have her on here as we're narrowing down the Sundays. But she's also a really good vocalist and piano player. And she opened up at Carlson in Halifax just a couple of weeks ago, and kind of easy listening music. So she's going to help me make mini cheesecakes this Sunday, and she's going to entertain. So you have us simple little cooks, and you have a chef. So I think I might have 4 or 5 shows left, and that will be the visits over on September the 29th. And I'll welcome some of my family on that final day to entertain as well. So looking forward to it.
Amazing. Thank you. And I look forward to my invite just to have some music and cook with you. So thanks again for being.
That would be great. And if you're ever in Cape Breton, Mark.
Oh, yes. I'm knocking on your door. Don't worry.
You better come in for a cup of tea. And I would love to have to sit down with you and find out all about you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And that was great. Thank you.